Namaskar, I have the pleasure of welcoming Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh to this special weekly session. Dr. Sir, welcome. Namaste.
Namaskar.
So, as we open today's session, the colorful festival of Holi just passed, and there were a lot of restrictions due to COVID 19 in India as well as in America. You want to reflect upon how we celebrated overall in India as well as here.
Well, I think in India, of course, the festival of the Holi or festival of the colors is always a very important festival in our Hindu calendar, and everyone has done and celebrated uh, very much and very extensively. Only thing is, only in India, the concern is that that may give rise to a lot of spike in the second wave. And as you are seeing right now, even that second wave is getting kind of out of hand. And the number of cases are rising every day, even more than what used to rise in the first wave in India. So I think India is kind of a concern, and uh, people should follow the guideline, and government should ramp up and roll out the vaccination as fast as they can.
So now, looking at this particular scenario, as you just pointed out, on the one hand, many of us are now almost mentally thinking that things are going to be moving towards normalization, and yet this second surge, so it causes a kind of confused mind, state of mind where people are not ready now to accept all these protocols which were in place. So, share your thoughts. What the government in India should be doing in order to prevent this from spreading?
No, I mean, government of India should ban all the large gathering, like election rally of lakhs of people, or holy celebration and religious celebration in the temples. All those things has to be banned, has to be limited, because you cannot have thousands of people in the temple celebrating Holi. I mean, that's a disaster. That's a recipe for spiking of the thing. And plus, still Indian government is too slow to for the vaccination. Number of people vaccinated in India is much less as compared to USA, or because the population of India, number of population of India is very high. So they have to ramp up this vaccination. Once they ramp up the vaccination, hopefully then people are going to kind of ignore certain guideline, because that's the human nature, because they are tired, fatigued, about this wearing the mask and doing this and that. So I think only effective answer is vaccination, and fast enough vaccination.
So now, going with some of the references made by you about election rally, and as we are aware, some of the states, mainly West Bengal, during the election, nobody seems to be paying any attention to the potential presence, or rather the presence of COVID-19. You look at any party, Dr. Parikh, and this protocol is not at all followed.
Yeah, but that's not good idea, because now in India, even villages has internet, villages has TV, villages has iPhone or smartphone. So they can change EC can change the regulation of the election, how to campaign, and that can prevent a spike. Otherwise, you will see that after a couple of weeks after this Bengal election, you will see the big spike in the West Bengal too. And right now, so far, Bengal is least affected with the COVID, and it will be more. And so, the government has to take the firm action. Because look at that now. Right now in Maharashtra, in Gujarat, number of deaths are happening is even more than what happened last March, and that's shame. That's a shame. So we have to do that, and simultaneously they should start vaccination. Everybody, they are not doing it. Still, they have a lot of restriction: who gets vaccine, who doesn't get vaccine, how to roll up the vaccine. Plus, they have to have mobile van to go to villages and give vaccine. That's the way to do it.
So a lot is needed to prevent escalation of COVID's effect, but life goes on, and there are many layers of life. So one being the need to stay healthy, another the need to pay attention to the politics. Let us pay attention to the politics. It does, I mean, go to West Bengal from the political viewpoint, and as you have noticed, Prime Minister Modi addressed big rallies, and first phase is over, and indications are, if you go by some polls and by what Home Minister Amit Shah said, BJP is likely to be on the upper hand. Your take on this analysis and overall mood of
Well, I mean, analysis of the phase elections or phase-wise election, both all the party, not both, but all the party will play the mind game. A mind game in a sense that they will exaggerate their winning situation because they want to affect the second phase or subsequent phases, and therefore in the war, this is a kind of war. In the war, always commander says that we are winning. Doesn't matter whether there are hundreds of their soldiers are dying. So this is the same thing. So it's a mind game. So that kind of analysis, which is unscientific analysis, has no meaning to it. And we have to wait till everything is over, and when counting starts, and that's the correct analysis.
I agree with you, but let's go to the core issues which are likely to determine voters' mindset. And what we hear is some accusations, or based on some facts, or from BJP side, about minority appeasement and threat to nation's security through infiltration, etc. That is one side, and Mamata Banerjee is seeking votes, blaming BJP for destroying democracy, and calling participation of all the opposition parties against BJP. Your take on these two major points as I observe them?
Well, I think bottom line for this election is very challenging. I think TMC has 10 years of incumbency, which is always disadvantage to TMC. And BJP is going so aggressively, and BJP has a lot of resources. It's a national party. It's a probably majority party. Even in the West Bengal, the majority of the people are Hindus. So I think BJP has a good chance this time to take over the West Bengal, which BJP does not have for last so many years.
So that is a first for BJP if they get substantial seats. But in this context, as we talked earlier, also some important leaders from uh, Mamata Banerjee's party shifted to BJP. That includes some celebrities like Mithun Chakravarti now joining BJP, etc. So, looking at this, your gut, gut in terms of Mamata retaining its position or not?
Well, we don't know. It's a 50-50 chances. There's no way to know because the election is so heated, and BJP has a great strategy. BJP has a great campaign machineries, and the BJP has 50-50% chances that they can upset the Mamata Banerjee, and they can come to the ruling the West Bengal.
Absolutely. So I think your analysis would prove you right either way. Either way, whosoever comes, you are right, Doctor. But now let us look at the connection of Bangladesh with West Bengal, and Prime Minister Modi's recent visit to Bangladesh. He was received well. He addressed Parliament, and his address speech, as always, was quite impressive. But after he came back, there were some tension-filled moments, as well as killing of some innocent Hindus in Bangladesh, with these fundamentalists blaming Modi government for not being fair to minorities in India. Your take on this overall situation in Bangladesh?
Well, again, that's a very unfortunate and sad incident that still people are on the name of the religion and name of the God. they are killing each other, and that's really deplorable. And I think what the Prime Minister Modi has done by going there, showing the goodwill on the part of the India, and extended a lot of help and support to the Bangladesh government. So I think all these things are done by fringe groups, and which should be condemnable.
Absolutely. And 50 years of Bangladesh existence. Now, Pakistan also is extending hand of friendship towards India, and there are some potential openings for dialogue. There's a letter written by Prime Minister of Pakistan. Your take on this possibility of developing understanding and friendly relationship and increasing trade, etc., between these two nations?
Well, it's a good news. I mean, I know that this is happening because of the arm twisting of the both the country, Pakistan and India, by USA, because USA has Biden administration has a lot of stake and a lot of because they want to USA wants to get out of the Afghanistan, so they need Pakistan to control the Afghanistan Taliban, and also Biden administration has to balance out the China, so they need India, and they cannot America cannot afford that India and Pakistan keep bickering and keep kind of raise rhetoric, political rhetoric, and make the things worse. And therefore, I think this is happening because of the pressure from the USA, both more in the Pakistan, twisting of the Pakistan's hand, also some pressure on the Indian government too.
So that is your analysis, and with that, we also move towards the concluding part of our conversation. But I want to bring to your attention that some of the decisions taken by Trump administration are now reversed, are being reversed by President Biden, and one which is kind of interesting to sort of pay attention to is the reversal of decision regarding entry of transgender in the force in the army, and the Pentagon has released new transgender policy. You want to share your thoughts on this?
Well, I think again, unfortunately, every administration has their own point of view or own philosophy, right? And I think what all are, I mean, whether you are man, woman, or transgender, all are equal. If you are really wants to serve the country, all should be allowed to serve the country.
So, on that note, as we conclude this week with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh, I request you to share your advice once again. As here also we have started feeling now we are going to say bye bye to COVID-19, but anything that you would like to share as caution?
Well, I mean, still keep repeating myself every week that vaccinations are out there. We are very fortunate with we have four different kind of vaccination available in the market. Government is also pushing very hard and ramping up the whole speed of the vaccination. So right now, as you know, almost 22% of the or 25% of the American population has already been vaccinated fully, and this may go on, and probably by mid-May or beginning of the May or end of the May, sometime in the month of May, I think all people will get the vaccination, those who wants to get vaccination. And hopefully they should. That way we can create the herd immunity in the community and the pandemic can end and we can go back to normal life. That's my message. So please go and get vaccinated whenever you get a chance. Uh, Follow the CDC guideline, and goodbye. Enjoy your day, and let's wait to end this pandemic. Thank you. God bless America. God bless India, and God bless Indian American community.